Hello everyone, Shirley here. Due to viewer request, we're going to back up a couple of months and take a look at our Mythic Smolderon kill. This was, like I said, a couple of months ago, so gear and everything's lower, but if you're still progressing this boss, it might look a little bit more like this rather than some of our reclears. So, on the pull here, we're going to go in and immediately burn our Avatar and Thunderous Roar. Like, you want to be super fast on the pull with this because we want to get these cooldowns cycling as fast as possible. And then I'm going to get behind the boss there in kind of that left position and wait for the debuffs to go out. I see that I don't get the fire lines, so I'm going to immediately move in and do the tank soak, and then we're going to rotate back around in front of the boss here to bait out this first set of geysers. And then these first portals spawn. I'm going to run just back a little ways just to make sure if an orb spawns out of that one on the right there, if it targets me, I'm not immediately going to hit it and blow up the raid. And then I'm going to move back around to my spot here. And I think it's important on every boss to get into a rhythm of planning yourself in, basically the same position, pull in, pull out. That way your raid team gets the idea of where everybody should be, and everything is just a lot smoother that way. So I'm going to sit in that last spot there and do the fire lines, and we're going to hit our first intermission phase here. We get a free charge every time he goes in for intermission phase, and then right before he does his World in Flames cast, I'm going to run off the boss and jump, like literally jump before it goes off. That way the pushback actually pushes you a little bit further, and that's because we want to delay getting these orbs as long as possible so they align with our CDs better. So when we get 10 seconds remaining on our Avatar and Thunderous Roar, I'm going to use my potion. I didn't use it on the pull there. That way we get the full 30-second potion overlap with our 20 seconds of CDs and as much time on this buff from the tank soak as possible. So that's why we're delaying, and then basically every intermission set we're going to gain about 5 seconds worth of CD time that's going to align it better for the end of the fight. That's why we want to cycle those cooldowns just as fast as possible. So we're going to get this next set of tank soaks here, and I'm going to move out and unfortunately hit one of these lines here. We're going to be using Impending Victory on every single one of those healing absorbs just to help, heal that off. Typically, though, I was getting healed up a little bit later, so I burnt parry for that one as well. And I wanted to rotate in and stay as close to in front of the boss as possible so those geyser baits weren't getting put out, behind in a bad spot. And it can be a little tricky. You run out of space if people get clumped up. But we're moving on to the next set of the fire lines here. I'm going to move to this back left spot every single time just to build that repetition on it. Jumping over these fire spawns. Speaking of which, the fire spawns don't actually hurt that much. You can charge through one, fairly comfortably. Now we're getting into our next set of this intermission phase. I'm going to jump back just a little bit this time, because like I said, we're gaining a little bit of time on our cooldowns now. So as you can see, right before I have to soak this first one here, it's about 5 seconds remaining on Avatar and Roar, so we can get that. And then, even though I'm running off the boss here for the World in Flames, I'm immediately throwing my Avatar Thunderous Roar combo just to get that cooldown running again for the next intermission phase. We're going to gate out here, and don't mess up your leap like I did and jump through the boss. You ideally want a heroic leap up for every single one of those intermission sets that you need to use the gate on. A little bit later, you'll see that I won't have it again due to circumstances. We're going to move out here. I realize I don't get the line soaks, or the lines again, so I'm going to move in for the tank soak. Burn our Impending Victory. I'm going to just burn parry and spell reflect for this one as well, because we got it back up. Spell reflecting for each of these debuffs I would recommend as well, whether that's the tank soak or right after the lines go out, just in case you catch one and have to... you're in the way and you eat one of the lines instead. I got one of the orbs here. I get called out, so I'm going to immediately, hit that first there so I don't have to move around too much. Actually, kiting the orbs isn't that difficult. They don't move very fast, so you can stay in melee range. You can just kite in kind of a circle around the boss if you do have an orb on you for a long time in melee. Speaking of the fire lines real quick, if you want advice for dodging them and everything, I would say just don't move. You can generally see, and then you can stutter step, if there was one coming for you, but otherwise I would just stay put. We hit our next intermission here, and this is where we're going to Bloodlust for the most of our uptime. I should have not jumped out quite so far so I could get these orbs quicker, just because our cooldowns are back up a lot faster for this Bloodlust phase. We hit execute during it as well, which is great. You want this ideally for this burn, so we're just going to be cranking big damage with executes. Ideally, you hit this with your buff when your fatality stacks trigger as well, so you know the fatality damage is doubled. That's going to be a huge deal for your own personal damage. And then we move into the last set here, or last portion of the fight after this, and throwing up a Spell Reflect for this first tank soak, using our pending victory, of course, and moving out from these circles, dodging our geysers, or the flame lines, moving back in to bait these geysers. Don't be afraid to use your health potion or health stone on any of those tank soaks. As the fight progresses, things can get a little bit more sketchy as, you know, people fall behind and whatnot. But we're going to move back to our position here with our fire lines, and we always want to be creating a pocket in the middle there. That way people with the tank soak can move forward through like a horseshoe shape if they have to. I'm just going to sit put in my little circle that spawns here, and then we're going to move back in, getting out of the way of these orb spawns. I do get one right here. There's fire in the way, so I jump across, and then I get called out to soak immediately here. And obviously I want to get this rolling, so I'm going to run into the fire, actually. Unfortunately, this is what causes us to not have Heroic Leap up for this last gate set, so, you know, it's just how things work out sometimes. But for this last set, I didn't run out, you know, nearly as far, because I wanted these orbs as fast as possible, because we have cooldowns back up, it's the end of the fight, it's execute phase, our potion's coming back up really soon, so we're going to use our potion immediately as it comes back up, and, you know, burn off this last, like, 5 seconds of this buff. And ideally, this is where you would leap in and get a couple more executes on those tail end of that buff there. Didn't have it, unfortunately. But, yeah, down goes our Smolderon kill. If you guys have any extra questions, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you for watching. Before I catch you in the next one, no, I still don't have the damn Legendary Axe yet. This is ridiculous at this point. They buffed it, apparently, the drop chance this week. I still didn't get it because I killed it on reset, you know, instead of after the hot patch. Woe is me. But, yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.